Okay, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Campbell. And of course, joining me, it's a Monday. We've got Jason Cameron coming in and lending us some expertise on some NFL, some UFC, some NBA, lots of fun stuff over the weekend to break down. This is going to be a great night. Jason, thanks for joining me. And how was your weekend? How was your day?
The day was good. It was kind of quiet at work, so that was cool. But the weekend was great. I managed to see a friend of mine I've known for a long time, known him since high school. So we watched the UFC kind of at a later time. So everybody that came over to watch and play cards tried not to see all the results or anything.
Nice.
But we all had a good time. It was a good time.
Good. Yeah, it was. It's funny when it's overseas like this. Started 7:30 in the morning here, and so I had to wake up early on a Saturday, which I don't love to do. I usually like, sleeping in and staying in bed. But to be honest, I actually don't think I left bed for more than a few minutes the entire Saturday. So I stayed there. I watched the fights. I stayed there. I watched some baseball, some hockey, some everything, and then just continued on and on and on. Stayed in bed, watched movies. Never really got out of bed on Saturday. It was good.
Sometimes you need days like that. You do. I swear. Yeah, you do need days like that, and slightly jealous because I actually did have to get out of bed. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Sunday had a really great day. I had a great weekend with Lorraine. It was very nice to spend so much time with her, but it was really awesome. I got a chance to see my dad. Don't get to see him as much as I like. He was over for the week, and we finally got a chance to get together on Sunday. Went and watched some football over at Boston Pizza, and it was really nice. Had an awesome visit with him, and that really put a big gold star on my weekend. Made me pretty happy.
Oh, that's good. It's always good, like seeing family and stuff, seeing like you just said, your father and this hanging out.
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah, it was great, really good. The World Series is set now. The Houston Astros swept my New York Yankees out, and they are the American League representative. My National League team has always been the Philadelphia Phillies, and they beat they were able to beat the San Diego Padres and win in 5 games. And so the World Series starts on Friday, and it'll be the Phillies' first time they've been in there in a long time, like maybe 15 years or something like that. And it should be good. Hopefully the Phillies can do really well. Houston's had an awesome year, but it was sad to see the Yankees get swept like that, and tough to watch. Aaron Judge probably doesn't stay in New York anymore, so that's tough. But it was a good year, but to get swept out, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah, of course, it will always leave a sour taste in your mouth because you feel that your team should be better than that. And I believe, well, the Yankees, don't they spend enough money to be better than that?
They sure do. Yeah, they sure do. They're usually top of the league in the payroll and bring in the talent they need, but they just for some reason couldn't hit, and their bullpen let them down a bit. And they were just the second best team in that series, and it was tough to watch. But every year they make the playoffs, which is nice. Nice to see them always in there with a chance. And I guess better luck next year. We are just started the fourth quarter in the Monday Night Football game. Surprisingly, the Chicago Bears are winning 32-14 with a convert to come. Bears have lost is it 3 out of the last 4 out of the last 5, and New England came in winning the last 2 games. Bailey Zappi doing a good job filling in for Mac Jones, and a topsy-turvy weird NFL season again, and Chicago's kicking their butt, looking like they're gonna take their 3rd win of the year.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm still I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie that Mac Jones got pulled in this game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised at that because I'm like, so you feel that the third string guy, that's your best option now? Like
Yeah.
that's not a good look for
Quick,
the Patriots.
quick benching.
Yeah,
Belichick was, yeah, really quick to. He just came back. He missed a couple games, and you thought he would get a shot at it. I guess Belichick didn't like what he saw out there. Belichick is on the verge of becoming the second all-time winningest coach. He's right now tied with wins with George Halas at 324, and Don Shula still leads the way at 347 career wins. But it doesn't look like Belichick's going to be able to pass Halas tonight. He'll have to wait at least another week or two.
yeah, he's gonna have to wait because who knew the Bears were gonna hang 30 points on him?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
prolific
this is
offense.
crazy. Yeah, 33-14. This is, yeah, a one-sided affair. So I'm not missing a lot. I have been watching the Manning cast, and it's been pretty good. They had Barack Obama on earlier, a Chicago guy, and that was great. That was really fun to watch. Just finished watching Bill Burr on there with them, one of my favorite comedians, hilarious guy. And Vince Vaughn has taken the seat now there to join them. Vince Vaughn, very famous Chicagoan. So, yeah, they've had some awesome guests tonight. Fun to watch. I'm recording it, so I can't wait to hear the funny exchange. As all guys are hilarious, and I'm sure there'll be tons of quips and funny things to break down while they're watching the game.
Yeah, I noticed that they were making comments about Barack, what Barack was wearing
Yeah,
when he was on. It's like, oh, so this is a style now. He's emulating us. And I'm like, the former president is emulating you guys. Right. Got it.
right. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was funny. That was really hilarious. I loved it. Those guys are just awesome. I'm glad they do this Manning cast. I like hearing regular commentary on football games, but on these Monday nighters, especially when it's a game that's kind of a
Yeah.
blowout like this, it's great to have them just having fun.
Yeah, it's great. And also too, it's great to hear their analysis.
Yeah,
It's like you're kind of talking about, well, Peyton for sure, but and Eli probably two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. My
yeah,
brother. I've been playing this game for a long time. So when you hear them break down like the coverages and stuff, I'm just like, this is kind of awesome.
it's
This
pretty
is really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, very awesome. Yeah, they're brilliant. Two very, very smart football minds, and yeah, Peyton. I think Peyton. In the history of football, he probably was the guy that broke down the most and just seemed to know that the game better than anybody. That I ever saw on the field.
Oh yeah. Well, like it's been said about him numerous times that it was like having an offensive coordinator on the field to
Right
play.
there with him. Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and it's absolutely true because he's just like, yeah, no, I know exactly how to attack this defense, especially if they do this and this, and then if they do this, then I have a counter for that. Like that's the way his brain
yeah,
works,
yeah.
which is
Pretty
unique.
awesome. Very cool. Very super cool. I mentioned Bill Burr and Vince Vaughn, two great comedians earlier. We had one of the best comedians on the planet here this weekend here in Vancouver. Chris Rock was performing out at the Thunderbird Arena. And I was so burnt out on Friday that I was afraid that I was just going to go and fall asleep. And imagine just going to a Chris Rock show and sitting there and falling asleep. I probably would have. I was so tired from a hard week of work that I never went. Kicking myself. I got that FOMO all weekend. Like, why did you not go? Why did you not go? Also, Elton John was here in town. His last tour of his life, he says. Last concerts in Canada, and supposedly they had BC Place packed, and a friend of ours, Joe Hinks, went and said it was absolutely amazing and super fun. But lots of activity going on in the city over the weekend.
Oh yeah, there was, and actually, apparently, from what my friend said, there was a yet another concert that was supposed to happen on Saturday. I think I got the band right, Thomas Brown or something like that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it got canceled
Oh,
because a couple of their bandmates couldn't get over the border.
oh shit. That
Yeah,
happens. That happens sometimes to bands. That's gotta suck.
yeah,
Holy cow, brutal.
yeah, yeah. He said
Uh,
it was brutal.
yeah. Our local team here, not doing well so far. Canucks are the worst team in the NHL as we speak. Winless in 6 games to start the year. Last year was horrible. Year before was horrible, but they're actually setting records this year for futility and blowing leads. They've blown, I think, 5 2-goal leads so far, and no team in the history of the NHL has had a shittier beginning to the season. They're playing currently right now. It's against Carolina Hurricanes, and if I was a betting man, I would bet they're going to be winless in 7, not winning a game tonight. It has been tragic. There was guys even throwing their jerseys onto the ice. They were booing the entire third period the other night, and it's getting ugly here.
Well, hold on a second. Are they up by 2 goals at least? Because then you know they're going to lose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it just started. Let me see. They're probably yeah. Yeah, like hopefully they don't get a lead because it's crazy. Oh, they just got scored on just as I turned the channel.
Oh,
Yeah, 1-0 power play goal for Carolina early on in the game here, and yeah, this is bad. Canucks penalty kill is worse than the NHL. Almost all their stats are completely the worst in the league. They're getting scored on about 45% of the time on the power play. It's last year's penalty kill was so epically bad that people just couldn't believe that it was that bad. And this year it's even worse. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think this team has to just completely blow up, and they've got to rebuild. But I don't think anybody expected it would be this bad.
well, I don't think anybody expects it to be as bad as that. Like you would think that they would stumble into a win,
Yeah,
stumble into one, but no, they can't even do that. So that's bad.
yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't waste my time. I've pretty much given up on their season. So why waste my any time towards it anymore? It's not gonna happen. Yeah, this Monday Nighter is really shocking. I actually would have put a lot of money on the Patriots winning this one. Are you surprised?
Oh, I'm very surprised because I was talking with a coworker about possibly betting on this one, but then I'm like, I don't trust either team, so we'll pick a different game.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. I don't.
Well, I sent you that statistic that I heard early Sunday that blew me away. Only one game yesterday involved 2 teams that were above 500 with the record going into the games. And that was not a barn burner game. It was the Titans at 3-2 against the Colts at 3-2-1. And no other game had 2 teams that were both over 500. It's so bizarre. This season seems to be one of those ones that you just really don't have any clue who's going to win from one week to the next.
No, you really don't. You have no clue. It's a crapshoot at times. When you think you know, I think this team should win or has to win, then all of a sudden, like for example, the Commanders and Packers, the Commanders beat the Packers?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Carolina's given up. They traded their running back. They traded their wide receiver. They're trying to get rid of everybody. They're trying to rebuild, and they go and beat the Bucks. Like unbelievable. Like this with a 3rd string quarterback. Yeah, this is just weird season. I remember you and I talking so much last year how the playoffs were the best playoffs that we had ever witnessed. Just so many games going down to that last drive, that last play. And this year is just the craziest. It's like throw a dart at the dartboard and pick your team, and And I would not be liking to bet too much on this. I've abandoned my fantasy football, and I've decided I'm not going to put bets out there. I just don't want to be broke and poor.
Yeah, no, that's probably a good idea, especially for this season, because you just have no idea what team is going to show up on week to week. Except there's obviously exceptions, for those top tier teams like the Chiefs and the Bills or whatever.
Eagles.
Otherwise, everybody else, who knows?
It's crazy. So I was last week when we had, or actually not last week, but the week before, we had Barry Grant Jr. on, the three of us, and it was great. Barry always does Dummy of the Week, and I love it. It's a great segment, but I said, during that podcast, I'd really like to have positive spin. I'd like to have Hero of the Week, somebody like that. I started thinking about, maybe I could have a bit of a suck of the week guy. I don't know. I was back and forth. And then today I made up a list. And I made up a list of things that are great and things that suck. And I'd like to just give you my list here and just sort of chime in with where my brain was going today. I'm going to start with my list of things that suck. The Canucks, the Lakers, the rain, football injuries, the concussions, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, divorce, and being broke and being and feeling poor. Those are the things that suck really bad. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers sucked really bad yesterday. They were horrible. The Lakers, oh my God, that team is just beyond brutal. And I'm getting really tired of football injuries, concussions. Oh my God, it's ruining, one of the best sports in the world, and it's been pretty tough to watch. I hate that Tom Brady is sucking, and he's actually come back, and it's cost him his marriage. That's pretty crappy. Like, things got to suck for him right now. So that's my list of things that suck. Do you want to add on to the list at all? Anything that come to your mind of things that suck right now?
Yeah. Going to the dump always sucks.
Oh yeah, we were there last week. Man, it was smelly. Holy cow.
It's so disgusting. It's so gross.
Yeah.
So that sucks. Rain sucks, but you know what sucks just as much as the rain? Just the grayness, the gray clouds.
Yeah.
The overhanging gray clouds where you don't see any sun, no sunlight, for months on end.
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks.
That definitely sucks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the other thing that sucks, I'm gonna go with like a franchise because of the fact that this guy actually runs the franchise. The Washington Commanders, I believe they have, they have a culture of toxicity because of David Snyder, and it's funny because now I believe there's talk about getting rid of Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
and Dan Snyder has then said, "You can do that, but there'll be consequences," which is a lot of dirty laundry being aired. Yeah. And I think it was the Colts owner said, "Go for it. I still want you gone."
Oh, good. Yeah. He's put out some threatening letters, and I've been in the media a bit saying, if I go down, everybody's going down, and he's one of those crash and burn type of guys. I'm hoping that that's not the kind of person that Putin is when they decide kick him out or get him out of there in some ways. You don't just go, okay, see you guys, I'm going, you're going too, boom, so but Dan Snyder sounds bitter, and he's not going without a fight.
No, he is definitely not going to go without a fight. And, if depending on how this progresses, maybe they back up, maybe they go all in. But what we're going to find out is we're going to hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want us to know about.
Yeah. Well,
if it does go that way.
Well, you and I speculated quite a bit when Gruden took the fall. All those leaked emails and stuff. We thought there's no way there's only one guy that's, doing any of this kind of crap. So at some point, somebody's also gonna, release some of this other stuff that other guys have been saying and doing. And there's gonna be other guys that pay the price.
Oh yeah, obviously. Like I don't know if Dan Snyder had an axe to grind against Gruden and just used him as, you could say, quote unquote, an example of what I could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so maybe it was like, it was a threat just by using Gruden as a sacrificial lamb, saying,
guy, yeah.
this is just one thing I can do.
Yeah.
Imagine what else I can do.
Yeah. Well, the old boys network there in the NFL, I'm sure a lot of guys are actually shaking in their boots because, if they want to keep the teams, it could be tough because we've seen Robert Sarver and the NBA being forced to sell. We've seen it in the NBA on a couple of occasions. And I'm sure these guys aren't above the law when it comes down and some of these things really come to light.
Yeah. They're not above the law. They have a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they still have to be accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
And we don't know what they've done, but it looks like we're going to find out.
Yeah. I heard some really cool thing today that Magic Johnson is working with a group to buy a minority stake in the Las Vegas Raiders. And that would be phenomenal. Love Magic Johnson and everything he's done, in the game and outside the game. Since he's been part of the Dodgers organization, that has been a first-class organization. Almost everything he touches turns to gold. I wish he could take over the Lakers and, kick out the Bus family and all the crap that's going on there. But really cool to hear that he's, in the works to try to buy a piece of the Raiders.
No, that's cool. That's cool because obviously he's a smart man. He's a smart businessman, and he has generated quite a bit of money after his playing career.
Yeah.
So, like if I hope he's successful in getting a minority stake for the Raiders.
It's going to be a lot of money. Supposedly the Raiders, when they started doing the valuation of this purchase, they valued them at $6.5 billion, which is more than any other sports franchise has ever sold for in the history of sports. So, he's going to have some friends with deep pockets. He's got money, but we're talking, a piece of $6.5 billion. You got to have super, super deep pockets.
Well, yeah, you got to have some billionaires on your side.
Yeah,
like one or two or three, but as many as you can.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I have some figures, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But why don't we get back to my list? That was my list of things that suck. Things that rule are sunshine. You mentioned that too. Brutal gray days are not fun, and we can get months of that, and it can get depressing. Things that rule are also teams that play the Canucks, teams that play the Lakers, and getting a pro contract. Those things really rule. I can't believe the money that was given out to these guys in the NBA. I started looking down the list of guys that got money in this off season, and holy crap, there was a lot of money handed out to guys. Even middle guys are making $20-30 million now. It's getting up there, $50 million. Some Damian Lillard, I think this year is going to make $63 million. So definitely getting a pro contract would rule.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I was going to add somebody that does rule is Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Because of what he did against the Lakers. That dude looks fantastic. Ever since he's had his surgery to fix what was wrong with his stomach, he has been lights out.
Yeah, that was big. I think the Lakers were shocked. I think a lot of people thought Portland wouldn't be very good this year. They seemed like they were in maybe a bit of a rebuilding mode with some of the moves they've made, but they were easily able to handle the Lakers and Lillard. Yeah, I think he put up 40, and he was just looking like 3-4 years younger. Had that quickness that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, he played awesome. He played unbelievable. He was great.
So I think there's a few things we can do to make things suck less. So I know people hate global warming, but I'm kind of enjoying it here. We had a really, really extended summer, and up until about 3 days ago, this place was awesome to live. I was enjoying it going on and on and on. I am not looking forward to weeks and weeks and months of rain. So global warming can be good in the short term. That's not bad. Um, I think just blowing this Canucks team up, I mentioned it earlier. I think the Lakers have to just start blowing their team up. I think Westbrook is the guy that they keep trying to pawn off on other people and nobody wants him. But I think it's time to get rid of LeBron, AD, Westbrook, see what you can get. Probably will be able to stockpile a huge amount of guys. We've seen it. We see it in with the Oklahoma Thunder. We see it with the Orlando Magic. We're seeing it with Utah. Utah's 3-0 going into tonight, and they blew up their team, got rid of 4 of their top starters. I think it's time to see what you can get for LeBron. AD's hurt way too often, and Westbrook's just not able to do anything anymore. So I think the Lakers just have to cut bait, get Magic in as an owner, and blow this thing up. Start fresh.
Yeah, it's just man, it's just not looking good. Like how about this? Like, even if LeBron is doing a post-game interview and he's talking about roster construction, saying, well, we can't shoot. Like, he literally said that. It's like, the team can't shoot. And like, I'm listening to him and he's just kind of like, it is what it is. So yeah. It was crazy to me because you usually don't hear him say stuff like that.
No, you usually don't. No, he usually sugarcoats things and stays positive and just has blind faith all the time. And I think this is he's trying to have to face reality. This team actually could be the worst shooting team that I've ever witnessed. I was just stunned the other night. Like, they cannot hit a jump shot. None of them. They can only score at the hoop, on a rebound, jam, but they can't hit a jump shot. Nobody on the team can hit a 3-pointer. Nobody can hit a jump shot. So how is this team possibly going to win?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, LeBron's going to do LeBron things. He's going to score. He's going to get his points, and he's going to get his numbers. But that's about all he can do. Like, he can't carry the team anymore. He's not that guy. He's not a young man. But he'll get his points. And AD will get his points up until the point he gets injured.
Yeah.
And that's probably right around the corner. Heck, I was just watching the game where he went for a block and unfortunately got undercut. And then you could hear the whole arena go, oh, he's gone.
He's gone again. Yeah. Yeah. No, he's too fragile. 40 games last year. He's been, missing massive amounts of time 3 of the last 4 seasons. He just revealed today that he had a wrist injury that he suffered with all season last year. We knew about the MCL sprain of his knee. We knew about the foot sprain that kept him out for many of the games, but nobody knew about this wrist injury that he said he had almost all season last year. His 3-point percentage last year was 18.5%. His free throw percentage was 70%. He's a liability. He's not. You can't keep this guy on the court. He's not somebody that you want on your team to be this cornerstone.
It doesn't seem like it now because it's unfortunate because he's just unreliable.
Yeah,
he's so fragile that you just don't know what you're going to get out of him in a regular season. Yeah, actually, you don't even know if he's going to be available for you in playoffs because he could be injured going into the playoffs. So yeah, that's what you're looking at with AD all the time now.
I watched that Lakers game the other night, and Westbrook was 0 for 12. He was brutal. It was really painful to watch. I just think that he went to the wrong place, lost his confidence, and he's trying, but it's just they just don't know how to mix this thing together, and it's a dumpster fire there. I don't remember seeing the Lakers this bad. During the last few years, Kobe was there. They were a mess, but I just didn't really fathom that it would get this bad. With with these talented guys all coming together, you thought, okay, they're old. If they can stay healthy, it could be good. But even healthy, they're horrible.
Well, we're just 2 seasons removed from when they won, right?
Yeah.
And I think about it then, and I think about what their roster was like when they won. They should have just kept that team together. Yeah. That's what they should have done. They should have made no moves and just kept that team.
Yeah.
That seemed to have worked. Let's just do that. That back.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Warriors have proven that. Spurs have proven that a lot over the years. A lot of teams that stick with their team and that core. Even all the role players, they should have ran them back. It's been ridiculous that it's definitely not fun there. I feel sorry for Lakers fans, and we'll see how this plays out. I think Brady needs to bring Gronk back. I think Brady needs to figure out how to save his marriage. I don't know if that's the problem right now, but man, I'm really witnessing some bad games. He led the league in passing last year, passing yardage, and you thought, holy crap, at 45 years old, he's still got it. But could he just have went like that? And he's an old man that can't throw anymore, can't play.
I was gonna say this. In that game, though, there were some drops. All right.
The Evans one was brutal. That first one was a sure touchdown if he catches it. Yeah,
that's
true.
All right. And also, too, so let's say this. What if Evans does catch that ball?
Right.
Maybe the whole dynamic of that game changes right then and there.
It could have, yeah, possibly. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is calling Davante Adams, asking him to come back?
I think he might have texted him, and Davante said, well, you should have mentioned something, You should have said something. Maybe I would have stayed, but since you didn't, and you were concerned with getting your own pay, which you got, I guess there was no money left for me. I left.
Yeah. I talked about things that Rule are signing a pro contract. We're a little bit past our prime to sign a pro contract. We might be able to golf. Maybe you say you hate golf and you're no good, but there is the possibility of still signing a pro contract at our age. But what about broadcasting? The inside the NBA crew all got re-upped. They all signed contract extensions. And the best show on television has another 10 years of Charles, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. And that was awesome news. And no contracts details get emerged except Charles. We hear 200 to 300 million. I don't know why he's the only one that the numbers came out on, but what was your reaction to hearing the great news?
Elated. Yeah. I was happy because I know Charles has been talking about I got 1 or 2 more years, I'm gonna retire. He's been on that for quite some time.
He has been, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why the 10 years really shocked me.
Exactly. So, but I guess for Charles, he just said, but if you pay me,
yeah,
which they did, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just do this till I'm 70. No problem.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Final score in the football game tonight, 33-14. Chicago goes to 3-4, and so do the Patriots, both 3-4. So, quite the shocking game. I was happy, and broadcasting is another way for people to make a lot of money. So if anybody's watching that's got a lot of money and wants to throw it Jason and my way, we will sign on the dotted line. You can have my firstborn. You can have blood from my arm for I don't know what you need or what you want, but I'll sign. You'll get me. I'll dedicate my life to you. And what was he's making about what 20 million a year? I think we could come to a really good agreement.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Brady actually have a broadcasting job that he's going to waltz right into after he's done playing?
Yeah.
That's worth like over $300 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That guy's doing it right. I think he's looking at Charles going, "Wow, you're just getting that much, eh?"
Yeah, yeah, that's fucking great. Yeah, he's my contract's dwarfing yours, Charles. Come on. You've been doing this for how many years? And I just get to waltz in and make more money than you. He's gonna chirp him hard, isn't he?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know that's gonna happen. You know that's coming.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into some of the top performers of the week. I'm gonna pick a hero of the week. I'm gonna throw out a bunch of examples of guys that had amazing day yesterday on the gridiron. And you decide who you want to go with.
Okay.
I'll give you about 4 or 5 examples here. Josh Jacobs, absolutely phenomenal day for the Raiders yesterday in their 38-20 win over the Texans. He had 143 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and 3 catches through the air for another dozen yards. Man, he's awesome when he's on. What a day. McCole Hardman, he also had 3 touchdowns, 2 for 28 on the ground with 2 touchdowns, 4 for 32 through the air, with another touchdown in the huge win by the KC Chiefs, 44-23 over the Niners. Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball. He had 423 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, never rushed the ball even once, but 5-2 Chiefs looking great. This is a rookie, 3rd stringer for the Seattle Seahawks, Kenneth Walker III. He had another phenomenal day. 168 yards on the ground, couple touchdowns, as the Seahawks are in 1st place in the NFC West. Shockingly in 1st place in the NFC West. And then I'm going to give one more guy honorable mention. Joe Burrow engineered a 35-17 win over the Falcons, 481 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He ran also 3 times for 20 yards and another touchdown, and hit his 2 favorite targets 8 times each, Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase. 155 yards for Tyler with a touchdown, and Jamar had 130 with 2 touchdowns. And that team is starting to look like a juggernaut. So, what do you have a guy out of that list that you think should be the hero of the week in the NFL?
I'm going with the dark horse. I'll go with Burrow, because I was like, when I saw his stats, I'm like, man almost threw for 500 yards.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, his receivers seemed like they were just running uncovered. It's like, oh, I'm open. We're all open. That's any one of us.
Amazing. Yeah. He's got so much weapons there, and they all had amazing days. Even Mixon had a great game. T. Higgins had a good game. Those guys, it's a juggernaut right now.
Oh yeah, no, they were looking fantastic. They were looking great, and they kept Burrow upright. Yeah. Most importantly, the offensive line did their job, and yeah, man, he was in on 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's a great game, and no turnovers as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going for Kenneth Walker III, rookie, unheralded, coming in, had to replace Rashad Penny, who broke his leg and was out. A retirement of their top running back going into the season. Seahawks were supposed to be horrible this year, and complete dumpster fire there after Russell Wilson leaves. And this team is 1st in their division somehow.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. And on top of that, the quarterback that they have, Geno Smith, is having a way better season than the quarterback that just left, Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Geno's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now. He's actually the most accurate quarterback numbers wise, and everybody just dismissed him. Said he couldn't start anywhere else. He wasn't good enough. This is going to be horrible. And and he's came in and played awesome. He's been, yeah, very much the catalyst for this resurgence and this great record that they have already.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been the catalyst, and also too, the Seattle's offense has been prolific.
Yeah.
They can score, but unfortunately, I do want to mention that unfortunately they lost one of their stud receivers in that game.
DK,
Metcalf left with a knee injury.
Yeah, supposedly it's not super serious. We saw him being carted off with the on the carted off. But supposedly he's only going to miss a few games, as what I've heard as of now. He got on the cart a couple weeks ago and asked the guy to take him to the washroom, and that was a lot of people were, oh, what's wrong with DK? And then he comes back. I saw him get on the cart, and a couple of guys are going like, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right." And actually, it seemed like he was saying it, yeah, like I'm just going to the bathroom again, guys. But but he was really downplaying it, and so was Pete Carroll after the game. It sounds like they dodged a huge bullet, and it's not super serious.
Well, yeah, they got lucky. Yeah. Unlike the Chargers in that game with J.C. Jackson, that is a very serious injury, dislocation of the knee.
He's out. He's out for the season. They just announced it today, and he's gone for the year. That was a huge blow. Dislocations, can cause you brutal problems. We're going to talk about a lot of dislocations in the UFC co-main event. Absolute travesty that a guy should not have been even in there with a dislocation. And poor JC Jackson. I feel sorry for him. Huge signing by the Chargers in the offseason, but he's gone for the year. And shockingly, Seahawks handled the Chargers 37-23. The Chargers are struggling, but the Seahawks are not. Looking pretty good. Okay, we briefly mentioned Brady and Rodgers, but let's sort of dig into these two a bit more. What do you want to start with? Would you like to start with Brady or Rodgers, and what's going on with these two old men?
No, let's start where it hurts the most. Let's start with little Tom Brady. He's going through a lot. Yeah, you know what? He even looks like he's going through a lot. Why does his face look so gaunt and sunken in? Have you noticed that?
I did notice that. Yeah. I noticed it. I noticed it actually this morning when I was watching some of his press conference highlights, and I thought, holy cow, like that's weird how it looks like he's dropped a bunch of weight in the past week or two. It was really noticeable.
Yeah, it's super noticeable, and I don't know what's going on there. Honestly, I don't know what's going on there. Like, is he sick, or is he just going through a lot of stress, which is probably more to the point.
That's probably the more to the point. Bucks have lost 4 of their last 5. Brady's going through divorce, according to all the stupid rags that we see at the supermarket. But Bucks are in a lousy division. Like the NFC South is horrible. They should win this division. Right now they're 3-4. So are the Falcons. But you and I know your Falcons are your team. But this is a rebuild. They're not very good. Panthers, on a rebuild. Blew me away that they beat the Bucks, but they're 2-5, and the Saints are 2-5. So, I don't think the Bucks have to really worry because they should easily win this division, should they not?
They should. Yeah. They should, and I'd have to. Kind of hard to bet against Tom Brady. Like it just is, because it's just like, well, I think he's eventually going to figure it out, because he always does.
He always
somehow, some way. Doesn't even matter how old he is. Doesn't matter how. It just doesn't matter.
True.
The man will figure it out. And like I said before, in this game, unfortunately, his receivers didn't help him out as much as they should have. There were some drops.
Yeah. There is a bit of controversy. You mentioned Mike Evans. Mike Evans, as he was exiting the field yesterday, somebody yelled his name, "Hey Mike, hey Mike," and he turned back, and two officials came up to him, handed him something, and asked for his autograph. And that's a big no-no for officials. They are not supposed to ask for players' autographs. And yeah, it's caused a bit of a firestorm. The video isn't super easy to see the whole thing. You can't hear any voices, but it looks like they pulled something out, and both officials asked him to sign their name. And it's yeah, it's been a pretty big controversy today.
Interesting that they would even attempt to do so in that environment.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a recording device.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's NFL. There's like a lot of cameras around and stuff. Like so you would think that if they were gonna do it, it would be on the down low after the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Weird. Yeah, very strange.
Very
I think they're probably going to lose their jobs over it, and it was a very strange exchange that I was like, holy cow! I watched the video a few times to try to really see, and it sure does look like they asked him for his autograph, and yeah, they're obviously not that bright, not that smart, so maybe it's good they're losing their jobs. Maybe they'll get some smarter officials in there, which we all want.
Yeah, of course we all want that. But yeah, it's just you know what the rules are, and you know if you get caught, that could cost you your job. So was it worth it? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so. No. Mike Evans is great. You're able to sign his sell his autograph for a bit of money, but it's not going to make up for a job that you could have for the next 20, 30 years. So very weird, very strange. Okay, so I'm not too worried about the Bucks. I think Tom Brady will figure it out, and this team's got a great defense. Right now they're struggling, but I think Todd Bowles will figure it out. If they keep him around, he might get fired, but we'll see. What about the Packers though? 3-4, worst start in Aaron Rodgers' career after 7 games. They seem to be in really big trouble. They go to Buffalo next and face the Bills. This will be the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career that he will be a double-digit underdog going into a game, and it could get ugly. Bills are a juggernaut, and I would bet that they'll be 3-5 after this game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get throttled. I think the Bills are just gonna step on their neck and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, was that the Packers?" Yeah, I don't think so. It was just like some roadkill.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. It's not going to be pretty. I don't think. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers said maybe it's good we lost because maybe it'll be a wake up call for us. But yeah, he said yeah, it's his Bills are next. So Bears won tonight, so they are 3-4 and they're tied with the Packers. Lions are worst team in the NFL and they're at the bottom of the North, but Vikings are having a great year. They're 5-1. Got at least I guess it's a two. It's basically a 2.5 game lead, 3 game lead, I guess you could say, over the Pack because they beat them already. So yeah, I think the Packers really better turn this around soon. 3-5 after 8 games. That's half a year pretty much, and they got to beat out a lot of teams to get a wild card. They probably are already sort of out of the mix, maybe for that first overall in the NFC North.
Yeah, they have a lot of ground to cover, but the one thing that seems to be the glaring thing that's standing out to me for the Packers, it just feels that Rodgers doesn't have enough guys to pass to, enough competent high-end talent, which they let walk out the door with Devontae Adams, to pass to. Like that's what it seems. That's this limiting thing that he's got going on with him right now.
Yeah.
And it's really limiting the offense.
Yeah, it's been tough. Yeah, he just does not have the weapons that he had, and letting Adams go, we all knew it was going to be a big blow, but it's really been horrible for them. Okay, we just mentioned the South and the North in the NFC. We briefly mentioned the NFC West. Seahawks are leading 4-3. Rams are 3-3. Niners 3-4, and also the Cards 3-4. what's going on with this division? Everybody said this was going to be the best division in the NFC, and it was just going to dominate like crazy. And that's the East this year. This I don't know what's happening with this West. Defending Super Bowl champions, 3-3, not looking great. Cardinals had a big win over the on Thursday, but Niners lost yesterday pretty badly. Could the Seahawks actually pull this off and win this division?
I think they could. I think they could. They have a decent shot because nobody would have ever thought that they would be in this position in the first place.
No.
And Geno Smith has been, as you just said, he is the most accurate passer in the NFL right now. He's having a stellar year. So if he can just continue doing what he's doing right now, he's going to give Seattle a real shot.
Yeah.
At like finishing at the top of the division.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think everybody's pretty shocked by this, and yeah, hopefully it's nice to have a winner close by, 2 hours away, and we get a lot of American channels from Seattle, and they seem to be happy as heck. Had a resurgence year with the Mariners. There's lots of rumors now that there might be a expansion going into Seattle. They've got the Kraken there, got the nice new building, have a tenant there. There was games in Seattle which were super widely attended this offseason. They just kept chanting Sonics, Sonics, Sonics. There's a lot of rumors that Vegas and Seattle are next up on the expansion plans for the NBA. And yeah, it's Seattle's having a great time. Russell Wilson gone. Russell who? Yeah, he's out of there, and they're still doing good. So nice to see. Really nice to see. NFC East, the NFC Beast, I called it last week. Eagles are still the only undefeated team in the league. They had a bye, so they would keep able to keep it there. But their next 3 opponents are easy peasy. It looks like to me they could be 9-10-0 going into their first real test. Giants 6-1. First time since 2008 they've been up there. First time that they've been sort of even this highly regarded since Eli Manning left. And the Cowboys 5-2. Commanders had a win. This is a great division.
Yeah, it is. And I you know what? I'm just happy. I'm happy for the Giants, but more importantly, I'm happy for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Because that dude,
yeah. Comeback of the year for sure. He's probably got comeback of the year wrapped up already, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, I would say so, because everybody was kind of down on him. They were dogging him out, said that, maybe he doesn't have it anymore. He's come out this season so far and said, oh, no, I clearly still have it. I'm clearly still one of the top running backs still. Yeah. And he's been a workhorse so far for them. So far this season, 24 carries, 110 yards, 4 receptions, 25 yards. And then also too, got to go with Jones, quarterback, 19 to 30, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. Then 11 carries for 107 yards.
Yeah.
And 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
It's great running.
He's a great weapon when he gets out in space. He can get a lot of yardage, and both of them over 100 yards. Pretty great. They had 236 yards on the ground, and that's going to win almost all the games. If you can keep hold of the ball, you're not turning it over, and you can get over 200 yards rushing. That's a really good recipe for a win.
Oh yeah, and it's a great recipe. And on top of that, they don't just win with their offense. It was their defense that held.
Yeah, won the game. Christian Kirk inside the 1 with seconds remaining. They were able to hold him up, and then the whole defense came and brought him down to get the win. That was massive.
That was huge. It was huge. Great win by the Giants.
Yeah, that was incredible. I loved watching that. They've won 4 in a row, and almost all of them have been in comeback fashion. That's 5th game-winning drive engineered by Daniel Jones. And they take on Seattle this Saturday. That will be great. Jags look pretty good, but they just couldn't get into that end zone. That would have tied the game, and they would have kicked the extra point for victory. But Giants are Yeah, they're looking amazing, and I don't think anybody suspected they would be this good so this quick. We talked. Let's switch to the AFC. We talked about the Bills. Let's talk about the Jets. We just talked about their counterpart in New York, and the Jets are 5-2. An amazing, amazing turnaround. Unfortunately, they were dealt a massive blow today. Their rookie sensation running back Brees Hall has had a season-ending injury and will be out. I don't know. I don't know if they can. They won't be able to find somebody as good to replace him. I guess they made a deal today and got James Robinson from the Jags, but this team has suddenly shocked the New York area and the NFL in general. 4-0 away from New York, and 5-2, sitting at nice and solid second place in that AFC East.
Yeah, and what helped the Jets here is that they had the pleasure of playing the Broncos, who just are spiraling right now.
Yeah.
And also too, maybe Broncos fans were happy because it's like, oh, Wilson's not playing. You saying we got a chance?
I love it. Yeah. I bet you there was some chirps like that out there, wasn't there?
No, there was. There
Yeah.
was. But the thing that I think is just amazing right now is that your two New York teams are both have 5 wins.
Yeah.
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 Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, it's super impressive, and yeah, blowing us away. Really surprising and great to see though. I love when the New York teams are good because it's such a huge city, tons of football fans there. It's nice when both teams are doing well, and it's good for the sport. So, I watched that Dolphins game last night. Dolphins Steelers game last night. Oh my God, that was just such a painful game to watch. Tough. I was calling it the concussion bowl. Tua was coming back from his concussion. Pickett was coming back from his concussion. There was actually a lot of talk this past week that Tua should retire. They said that he's had too many concussions in his college career. Now in the NFL, 2 in a row there really messed him up. And 24 years old. People are saying he should retire. I'm glad he's not entertaining that at this moment. He was playing a little reckless though. He wasn't sliding when he should, feet first. He was actually using his head going in for some of those plays. People pointed it out, and he said, yeah, maybe I should change my ways a little bit. But the game was a dog, but good to see Tua back.
Yeah, good to see Tua back and triumphant, even as bad as the game was. He still won the game, so that was good. But the talk about him retiring already, like, let's be okay. First off, obviously concussions are serious. We all know that. We all know that's a thing. But also too, he's still kind of in the beginning of his career here.
Yeah.
So let's give the young man some time here. Obviously, if things progress to a stage where it's not good,
Right.
obviously that's something he would need to consider. But I don't think he's even close to being there yet.
Yeah.
Personally,
Hope not. Yeah, that would be tough. Such a young guy, and it doesn't seem right. Hopefully he can stay healthy, no more concussions, and we just put this to bed. But I was shocked to hear how many people were asking for it. I guess his family, his immediate sort of people that are around him were telling him that maybe it's time, but I hope not. I sure hope not. Okay. We talked a little bit about the AFC West. Do you want to get into a little bit more of what's happening there? The Chiefs are leading the division, had a huge, massive win. I talked about some of the key people in that Hero of the Week segment, but they're looking like world beaters and one of the teams to beat in that AFC again.
of course they are. Like they're the Chiefs and the Bills. Like those are the cream of the crop in the NFL right now, and Mahomes is the leader of that crew. Like it's just every week you're just like, it's funny to me because he loses probably one of the best receivers in the game in Tyreek Hill,
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
and then doesn't miss a step.
Huh.
Like he literally doesn't miss a step. He's like, well, okay, well, we'll just get some other guys in, and then I'll pass them the football, and we'll be all right. That's how
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing that he can just slot in a new guy. McCole Hardman had an absolutely phenomenal game, and young guy who's I guess just waiting for a chance, and he capitalized on that opportunity, obviously, didn't he?
No, he most certainly did. And then also too, Smith-Schuster had a great game too as well. 7 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Valdez-Scantling, 3 receptions, 111 yards.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, hey, Mahomes is able to do it a number of different ways. But the one way that he's always going to do it is going to win the game.
Yeah.
And he's going to win, right? But I got to tell you, though, I loved the 49ers going out and getting McCaffrey. To get a weapon of that caliber to go along with Deebo Samuel, Wilson, and George Kittle, dude, that's a potent, dangerous offense.
Yeah, well, Jimmy G must have been super thrilled because there was so much talk about him going out of town, and then he finally gets a chance after the first week, and Trey Lance going down, and then now he gets another weapon like this. If McCaffrey can stay healthy, I think in Carolina they overused him, and he was one of the only real super big weapons they had there the last couple seasons, and he had injury troubles, but when you're giving the guy the ball 30 times a game, you're running the risk of having him injured. I think now that he's got so many guys around him, I think he can really show his stuff because there are guys that can also take some of those touches away.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I think that's going to help him with his durability during the season because he's just not going to have to take that pounding because he's the guy.
Yeah.
Now you have plenty of other guys that can be the guy, like Kittle, Ayuk, Deebo. Like you have all of these other players that are just awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah.
players.
They actually have just stepped up their offense to be one of the most dynamic offenses in the whole league.
Oh yeah, for sure. By adding that guy, most definitely. Like and depending on how it all shakes out for going forward for the next season, Trey Lance is either their quarterback or they get a quarterback. My goodness, that they're set up. They're set up well.
Yeah, that was so big. They gave up a king's ransom for him. They gave up 4 draft picks and it was a lot. But if you want to win now, that was a huge move. One of the biggest weapons in the league. So good on him. I love seeing trades like that, and this was exciting and great for the Niners fans and all those all those fans that are surrounding them. Okay. Let's just touch briefly into the AFC North. Ravens had a nice win over the Browns, so they could stay up at the top of the division with the Bengals, both 4-3. Mentioned the Steelers and the Browns, both 2-5, having an off year for sure. Gus Edwards had a really phenomenal game for the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson wasn't utilized very much through the air. Had another 10 carries, 60 yards, easy enough. Gus Edwards looked good, and this wasn't a big offensive explosion, but Baltimore's defense held the Browns in check and got the nice 23-20 win.
Yeah, and then I think the turning point in the game was when Brissett got stripped in the third quarter, and then the Ravens managed to make that into a score, and then that's when they kind of took control of the game right there and then. But one of my favorite running backs, Nick Chubb. Once again, 16 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. I love that guy.
Yeah,
that guy, he's a great running back, man.
Oh man, is he ever good? Yeah. They've got a super solid, amazing guy in him, and as long as he can stay healthy, he'll be a really big weapon for years to come. As I mentioned earlier, that AFC South battle between the Titans and the Colts was the only game where 2 teams over 500 were facing each other. Titans took control of the division with a victory over the Colts, and the Colts, 3-1. Everybody else way down. That division, was talked about as being really rough. Titans should run away with this now, and they were the best team in the AFC last year. I think they're going to be able to finally pull this together now, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and as long as you got that guy in the backfield, Derrick Henry, doing 30 carries for 128 yards, as long as he's getting his touches and he's getting his numbers, I think the Titans are going to be fine. Yeah. They're going to be fine. But now, also too, I believe Ryan, I think he might be out for the season with a separation of the shoulder. So
yeah, I don't think he's out for the season, but they said he's benched. Yeah, they said he's not going to be their number one quarterback. He threw a couple picks that really turned this game around, and I guess they've decided they're going to go with the young guy, and I don't think this shoulder separation was too bad. I think he's able to come back in a few weeks, but he'll be riding the pine for the next little while. I don't see this team doing very great things this year, so it's going to be a struggle there.
Oh yeah, the team is not great, and you know what, Matt Ryan's on his last legs anyway, so
yeah. I mentioned about the Raiders possibly being purchased a minority stake with Magic Johnson, $6.5 billion valuation on that. Some of the other teams that were purchased recently were the Broncos. August 9th, they were bought for $4.65 billion. The Panthers were bought by David Tepper for $2.3 billion. And in the world of baseball, Steve Cohen bought the Mets $2.4 billion. But we're talking about a huge step up to see the Las Vegas Raiders being valued at $6.5 billion now. That went from 4.65 to 6.5. That's a huge leap.
Yeah, it's a massive leap. It's a massive leap. I think obviously part of it has to do with location where the Raiders are now in Vegas. Right. And also too, that arena is probably one of the best arenas in the NFL.
Yeah, huge move. There was a lot of I know Magic Johnson had tried for many years when he played with the Lakers to try to get the Raiders to come to LA and be their LA team. There was talk about when they were going to move from Oakland again, possibly them being that LA team. The Rams came in, the Chargers came in. Suddenly it was like, now where do we go? Vegas opened their pocketbooks and their arms and built one of the most beautiful state-of-the-art stadiums, and it's sure been a great move for the Davis family and everyone involved in that organization.
Oh yeah, well, obviously it was a great move. Look at how much the team is worth.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, amazing. So love it. Yeah, that was good. Nice flip around the NFL and covered week 7. Week 8 ahead. We're pretty much halfway through the year after next week. So can you believe it's already halfway through the season?
It happens so fast, doesn't it? It happens so fast.
Crazy.
It's great.
Yeah. It's amazing. Okay, let's turn to the UFC. We had a UFC 280 from Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. Incredible stacked card that had all the makings of card of the year. We had a couple of title fights and a lot of highly anticipated matchups. This was the 26th consecutive sellout for the UFC. 13,400 people fit in there, and they jammed them in. I love pay-per-views. So much more in the Apex. I'm sick of the Apex. No atmosphere, especially the one with Mark Zuckerberg in there. It was like, what the hell are you doing? We got Vegas 63 coming up this weekend. I can't believe that, but they've had 63 in there since this pandemic started. This is this is great to have a big crowd. I couldn't believe hearing the cheers and the boos. It's amazing. It just adds so much to an event when you got a full stacked house like that.
Of course, like, and that's what we've all missed.
Yeah,
Fans cheering
yeah,
for your fighters, just enjoying the ambiance and the atmosphere. It makes everything better.
yeah.
Everything is better when you have fans.
I've been critical of a lot of the Russian athletes. I've been critical of the Russian Federation and all the what they've done to Ukraine and a lot of the things that they've done in their history. Not still not really on board with a lot of the Russian athletes, thinking that it doesn't. I don't really want tons of glory being put on anything Russian these days, but you got to give your props to Islam Makhachev. He won the belt. Khabib Nurmagomedov said, "This is the guy that's taking the belt. Once I'm done." And AKA has that champion again. He went in there and dispatched the greatest finisher in the UFC history. He beat him handily, and now holds the belt. And this could be a really long reign for this guy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because the one area where I thought Oliveira could possibly have had an advantage, which was to stand up in the striking, he did not.
No.
I got all. It
Yeah.
wasn't actually close, because Makhachev hurt him numerous times in that fight. Knocked him down in the first, knocked him down in the second, which led to him winning the fight. Like, I was a little bit shocked to see just how handily he handled one of the best lightweights we've ever seen.
Yeah. Oliveira is a future Hall of Famer and has been, fighting all these amazing killers. Makhachev's resume wasn't the same as Oliveira's. You thought Oliveira, would be dominant if this fight kept standing. Makhachev would go for the takedowns. It would be, Sambo against jiu-jitsu, and we were going to see, what would be the dominant martial art. But Makhachev, his stand-up has improved leaps and bounds, and he was the better stand-up fighter in this one. And that second knockdown led to him jumping on, securing that triangle choke really quick. Once he cleared himself to the one side, super quick tap by Oliveira, and we got a new champion. Immediately Khabib jumps in there and was saying, I told you. And then he was, now we want Volkanovski next. Luckily Volkanovski was there, comes into the cage. They got to really look at each other face to face and say, you're next. And both of them agreed. I guess we're having it in Perth, Australia in February, UFC 284. Right now, Volkanovski is the #1 pound for pound fighter in the UFC. Makhachev might be able to get that #2 when the rankings come out tomorrow. And wow, like immediately we've got even more of an exciting fight to watch and witness.
Yeah, I did like how they set that up though. Because it's just like Nurmagomedov is just like, no, I've been working it behind the scenes. This is what's gonna happen as soon as you win.
Yeah, yeah, no
and
kidding.
And by the way, I love that fight. Yeah. I think that's definitely the fight to make, because Volkanovski has pretty much cleared out his division. There's nobody else left for him to fight, so this makes sense.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. This is incredible, and this will be super fun to watch. This has been a dream of Khabib's. Once he retired a couple of years ago, he said, this is my guy. This is the guy that I want to coach and become champion. It took a little bit. He had some opportunities. The fights fell off in the meantime, but this was a super impressive performance. And AKA was the #1 fight camp for a long time. They had champions Daniel Cormier. They had Luke Rockhold, Cain Velasquez. They've had a ton of good guys. BJ Penn was there as a champion. They've had a ton of really top fighters, and now they got a champion again after all these other guys are retired, and and moved on. And this was huge for them. They must be just super excited to finally get a belt back hanging in AKA.
Yeah, they're super excited, and I think they're even more excited by the fact that that belt's probably going to be around for quite some time
Yeah.
because he is that good, and it's any contender coming up to fight him, it's going to be hard pressed to beat that guy.
Yeah.
Hard pressed.
So Jovanovski was told to be at that 155 weight because he would be a replacement if one of the guys fell off. So he has bulked himself up to that weight. Makachev was yelling out, "You little shrimp, you short guy, come in here, I'll kick your ass." When they did face off each other, there wasn't as much of a height difference as I expected. And I kind of was thinking this Jovanovski might be biting off more than he can chew, stepping up in a weight. We've seen others like Adesanya wasn't able to step up in weight and win. How do you see this fight going with one having to come up and the other defending this belt?
Well, for Volkanovski, I think him putting on weight is not going to be a problem for him because like he has been heavier before.
Right.
And so with him putting on the extra weight, I think he can put it on and I think it's going to look good on him. Like I think he'll fit the division if he needs to put on that extra weight.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that Volkanovski is going to have to be super aware of once he fights Islam Makhachev is his grappling.
Yeah.
That guy's grappling is on a completely different level than anything he's ever seen or fought against.
Yeah.
He has to know that. And so he better become prepared with like his takedown defense and his grappling skills because they're going to be sorely tested in that fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty incredible, and I'm excited. It's great that they already know February is this matchup. They've got a lot of time to train for each other, and I think this could be right away fight of the year. Second month of 2023, and it was awesome. I feel a little bit sad for Charles Oliveira, but I think he's going to bounce back. And what's next for him? Where do you think who do you think he gets matched up with, and who will he fight?
Well, I think now that the loss has happened, I think he's gonna hang around in the top five. He's gonna be hanging around fighting top five guys until he gets a certain number of wins to possibly challenge the champ again, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah. There was talk that Beneil Dariush, who also fought on this card, we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, he could be his next opponent. There was a lot of talk between Oliveira's camp and McGregor's camp over the last year, and Conor McGregor could be in the mix. But Dana White, in his post-fight conference, said that Conor McGregor still isn't getting tested by USADA, and that typically means that until he gets his first test, it's 6 months of testing before you're allowed to be back in the mix. There have been a few exceptions. Brock Lesnar had an exception given to him for UFC 200, and they say that he definitely has to have 2 negative tests from USADA before they would even consider scheduling a fight for him. So right now it looks like Conor won't be available to fight until at least April.
Okay, well that's quite a ways away, and also too, I believe in that same interview, didn't Dana White say, "I'm not actually even sure why he's not being tested right now"?
Yeah.
He was completely unclear of that, which is kind of concerning since you're the boss.
Very weird. Yeah.
Stuff like that, right?
Yeah. He's the only fighter that's currently on the UFC roster that hasn't been tested this year. From pictures that I've seen that he's posted, I think he's been doing steroids. I think straight out he's been doing steroids, and he doesn't want to get found out. He's bulking up. He's gonna make some tests himself, make sure it's out of his system, and then say, okay, here you go. I'll give you my pee. Here you go. But have you seen, he's more jacked than he ever has been in his entire life. And I don't think it was from the gym, especially when you only got one leg.
Well, he looks pretty dieseled. Yeah, lately. Like
No.
he's looking quite muscular and puffy. I don't know what he's been doing, but it looks like he's been lifting a lot of weights lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty suspicious to me. Very weird that he's the only fighter not getting tested. Looks incredibly jacked, and yeah, he is suddenly for some reason back in the mix possibly, but yeah, he better start getting back in there. I think Henry Cejudo has been getting tested and trying to get back in the mix, but yeah, for some reason Connor's not doing it. Outside the cage, Khabib got into a little bit of a kerfuffle. Khabib's cousin actually got punched by Khamzat Chimaev, and he ended up returning some punches, and they had a big dust up right outside the cage. Dana White said, "What are we talking about here? A fight? That's what we do. That's our business. That's what we do. Fights happen. This is 800 alpha males and females coming in, fighting each other. I'm not shocked. It's a bit of a dust up, no big deal. But I think Khabib's camp is pretty pissed and pretty upset about Khamzat and his shenanigans outside the cage that night.
Well, yeah, like I understand what Kazmat is trying to do. He's trying to make himself relevant in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. I don't think for him anymore. I think to a certain extent he's trying to follow the Conor McGregor like roadmap of how to do things, how to get noticed, and how to get paid.
Could be, yeah.
And for the most part, you know what? It's working.
Yeah,
it's working.
Unfortunately, it's working. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we go from a great main event, really good card all around, but this co-main event, I am super pissed off. This was an absolute robbery that TJ Dillashaw would do this, keep a dislocated shoulder, quiet and hush hush from everybody. He robbed us of a great fight that could have happened between Aljo and somebody else. And this is wrong. TJ, he cheated a couple of years ago, got caught for steroids, got a 2-year suspension, owned up to it. So a lot of people were like, okay, a lot of guys try to hide from these steroid tests, positive steroid tests. He owned up to it like a man. I got to give him props for that. I'm going to, try to push this aside, but this is another big black mark on him and his team and the sport. And I think he should be kind of done. I don't think they ever should give him a title shot again. And no matter why he decided he would go back in, if his arm popped out that many times in training and it popped out that easily in a fight where he just gets taken down, this was ridiculous, and it made me really, really mad.
Well, it was ridiculous because, well, first, number one, fight should never have happened.
No.
Period. Fight should never have happened. Now, I don't know if that means that the UFC should look back on their policies to see if fighters are actually physically able to fight.
Yeah.
That may be something they may have to address. Because there is no way that he should have been even allowed anywhere near the octagon that night.
Yeah.
Not with that injury, because it doesn't just affect the UFC and the fans that paid their hard-earned money to watch a great fight. It also affects bettors, betting, gambling sites.
Yeah.
That is not good.
No.
That is most certainly not good. So I don't know what TJ Dillashaw's financial his situation is. Maybe he needed the money. I don't know. But the thing that I'm looking at, looking forward for him, if you pop out your shoulder in training for a fight over 20 times, that's got to be significant damage now to that shoulder. Yeah. It's never going to leave.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there now.
Yeah.
Now to me, is it worth it? Was it worth it to go and do that and have this damage that's going to be there now for the rest of your fighting career?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that could be permanent damage to his shoulder. He might not ever be able to hold up his kid, his grandkid. He might be, never be able to, fight again if it's popping out that often. It probably got more damaged every single solitary time it was
No?
dislocated, and there only surgery can only fix things to a certain degree. If
Yeah.
you've damaged it and damaged it and damaged it over months and months and months and made it worse. Yeah, this could be, life threatening, career threatening, really, really, really bad. This really shines a really black mark on the UFC's athletic commission. They try to make sure the guy's at a certain weight, but they got to make sure that he's healthy enough to fight. Like they should be able to, do some tests and make sure that the guy's physically capable of going in and defending himself and being able to fight. This was not done at all, and it really needs to change because we can't see this again.
No, we can never see this again, like ever. And also too, like for if I'm TJ Dillashaw, in what world do I think I can win this fight? Like, and how could I possibly even consider how I could win this fight? I'm just going to go in there literally to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat the champion with one arm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You ain't that good.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Well, I think a lot of it stems from him being suspended for 2 years, not collecting a paycheck for that long. He gets scheduled for a fight and he's like, oh, finally, I'm going to be able to get some money. I don't think anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching this podcast could go without money for 2 years and be able to survive. I think the UFC has to, see that kind of a scenario and think, okay, can we get the guy some money? Can we get the guy some sponsorship? Can we get something to tide him over so he's not, risking his health and, really pissing off a lot of people? Like people paid good money to be on the pay-per-view. People paid good money to be there in the arena. Like you say, the gambling aspect. There's a lot of money that's shelled out by people to see a healthy fighter go in and give his best account. And he's got an arm that will not stay in its socket. He shouldn't be in there. And the UFC, it really looks bad on this, I think.
No, I think it looks horrible. Like it's just horrible. Like here I am, I'm watching this fight, and I'm just like, what's wrong with his shoulder? And it's like, oh, his shoulder's out. I'm like, well, then this fight is over.
Yeah.
Like it was for me, it was pretty much immediate. It's like shoulder popped out, fight's over. He's just gonna get beaten up now.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. I don't fault Aljo at all. He did what he did. He probably was going to win. He looked like the bigger guy. He caught that kick, got that takedown, was, definitely in a positive position and really was going to win this fight from what I saw, even with two solid arms. But yeah, I feel bad for him that he wasn't able to, showcase his complete arsenal and all the work that he put in, very long training camp. And but yeah, still the champion. He's won 13 straight. He's got Dillashaw tied. There was a fight that he had against I think it was against Vera, where they made it a catch weight fight right at the same week, and so that's not counted as his streak. But Aljo's dominant after he beat Peter Yan, able to beat him on a second time, get this win. Super impressive from him. Lots of talk about now. Who does he fight? Who do you think he should fight? And what would you like to see?
I don't really want to say this. You know what? Heck, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say it, even though we're gonna get to this fight later, because I don't believe he won the fight.
Right.
But
right.
He could fight O'Malley.
Yeah, guess he could. Yeah, that's probably where the money is. It's probably where the money is, and O'Malley doesn't deserve this shot because he didn't win this fight against Peter Yan. For some reason, 2 judges and nobody else saw it that way. How does this happen so often? Another thing about the UFC that's really annoying, where 2 guys can see a fight that's different from millions of other people. They're supposed to be the experts, certification, and they're in there really close to the action, and they're the only 2 that can see it that way. It seems bizarre. It seems crazy.
Well, yeah. Okay. First off, that third round, Jan won that third round.
Yeah.
He won that third round, and he won it from his grappling, top control, all of that. Like, that's how Jan won that round.
Yeah.
It was close, but he won it from those positions that he dominated in that third round. But yet, 2 of the judges saw it that, no, Mally clearly won that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I did not see. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I'm clearly not seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah. It was a good fight. O'Malley
Great fight,
did
by the way.
O'Malley did a lot better than I expected against Jan.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was the 11th ranked fighter against a number 1 ranked fighter. This looked like a mismatch to me, and I didn't think he would fare as well as he did. The rounds were razor thin. The first round was close. Third round was close. I think Jan definitely had that second round, but O'Malley gets this decision, and this was weird. This was weird. Even he looked super shocked by it.
Well, yeah, as he should, because he's like, I don't think I did enough to win that third round. But in the first round, I will say this: I was impressed with O'Malley.
Yeah.
He hurt Jan.
Yeah.
He hurt, like they actually ended up hurting each other, but he hurt Jan.
Yeah.
In the striking, and he hurt him throughout the course of that fight too. I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the fact that he was able to do that, number 1, and that he didn't look out of place. He competed with Peter Yan.
Yeah, that was surprising, and good on him. I thought, hey, at the end of it, I thought, hey, good show, O'Malley. He didn't. You came in, you weren't supposed to win. You had a really good showing, good on you, but you lost. And then when they said the decision was for him, a split decision, man, I was pretty damn shocked and not happy. And poor Peter Yan, he throws an illegal knee and loses his belt, loses 3 out of the last 4, is completely robbed. And where does he go from here? This is horrible. It's crazy how you can go from the penthouse to the outhouse so quickly, and this is a robbery for him, a robbery.
No, it is. It is. I look at Peter Yan. His situation's kind of the same as Oliveira's. He's now just going to circle in that top 5 now, and that's where he's going to be for a little bit. Anyways, he's probably going to have to win 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 more fights before he can actually even get a whiff of fighting the champ again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I was pretty mad also. 2 fights in a row made me mad, and it shouldn't be that way. We should be happy with the results, but Dillashaw was terrible even being there, and those refs, I don't know. I hope I don't see those guys again, because that was wrong. That was not the decision that should have been. But O'Malley and Aljamain, I see it happening. I see it being the fight that probably a lot of people want to see. Aljo, should be a massive favorite in it. And I hope maybe O'Malley can, in the ensuing months, can look at the things he did wrong against Jan and figure it out. But I don't give him much of a chance against Aljamain. I really don't.
No, especially when Aljamain is just probably he's going to do a grappling centric attack on him, and O'Malley's not strong there. No. He is not. So, and I believe Aljamain is a better grappler than Peter Yan.
Yeah.
And so it's O'Malley better be fully prepared. If that fight does happen, better be fully prepared for that, because it's going to be a long one for him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. The fight right before that was a lightweight battle between Beneil Dariush and Mateus Gamrot. Dariush looked phenomenal. There's a lot of talk that Dariush and Oliveira will fight next. That was an impressive performance, and yeah, I'm blown away by Dariush and how good he's looking.
Oh yeah, no, he looked fantastic. Where he won this fight was in the grappling contest because Gamrot is excellent, high level grappler, and he was able to incorporate his takedown defense. He was able to counter his grappling and then get his strikes off as well. That's where Dariush won this fight,
Yep.
and he looked really, really good doing it.
Yeah.
Really good, possibly the best I've seen him.
Yeah, I think it was the best. He's only getting better. That's 8 wins in a row. There's only 2 guys in the division that have more wins in a row than him, and it was Makachev has 9. Oh, actually, Oliveira's done now. He had an 11 fight win streak, and now he's done. So Dariush deserves to be right up there. Really impressive performance, and yeah, he took a big risk fighting the lower ranked guy in this one, and well, was able to show that that there's the rankings were right, and he deserves to be right up there in the top 5.
Yeah, no, he definitely deserves to be there. And if they do make that fight with Oliveira, be a great fight.
Yeah.
Be a great fight.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I'm going to. I'm really frustrated with women's fighting in the UFC right now. I'm finding myself bored as hell. I'm finding myself angry that some of these women that are supposed to be the top of their division. This fight on the main card between Caitlin Chukagian and Manuel Ferrero. It was terrible. It was bad. They were so inaccurate. I couldn't even believe it. And these are supposed to be 2 of the top fighters in this weight class, in this division. They could barely even hit each other. It was terrible display of mixed martial arts, and I'm not sure that I can subject myself to much more of this, because this is getting really bad. It's putting a black mark on the sport, and these should be super accurate, amazing fighters, and they were not. This looked horrible to me.
That was the thing that stuck out to me the most, was the fact that they couldn't seem to connect with one another.
No.
None of their strikes seemed to land. They seemed to just miss more than they were landing.
Way
And
more.
way more. And as I'm watching the fight, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? They can't hit each other? That's literally what the fight looked like. They couldn't hit each other.
No.
And as I'm watching the fight, I'm like, I agreed with you. I grew more and more disinterested as the fight wore on, until eventually I just wasn't watching it anymore.
I do not watch this sport for shadow boxing. I watch it for, fighters that can connect with each other and, attempt to rock the other fighter to win, not go for decisions. There was way too many decisions on this card, and this one, there was no way it was going to be finished, because they weren't hitting each other. They were hitting each other 1 out of every 4, 5, 6 strikes, and I just could not believe it, because I was so excited and waiting for Makachev, Oliveira, who are 2 of the most accurate strikers in the game, and this is what I want to see. This is a main card. They have to have fighters on a main card that can actually connect with each other. Like, we got the number 1 against number 6 in the division, and they were I don't know if this was an off night or what the hell was going on, but man, it was really, really, really tough to watch. And it gets me a chance to go to the washroom, go get some food, go do something else. And until you can put on women that can really display mixed martial arts in a better way, I'm tuning out. I'm not going to be there. You put these fights on the card. See you later. I'm gone. I'm going to go get some drinks. I'm going to use the washroom. I'm out. I'm out. Sorry. This is it.
Yeah, well, that was not the greatest display of mixed martial arts whatsoever. Fierro managed to win, but at the end of the day, for myself, I was like, well, I guess somebody had to win. That's the way I felt about that fight.
Yeah. Okay, the feature fight on the prelims was awesome. Bilal Muhammad came in, really took a risk fighting an undefeated fighter in Sean Brady, who looks like a killer, tattooed head to toe, super, super athletic looking, tough as nails. And Bilal Muhammad put on an amazing display. He got 50K, one of the performance bonuses, and took a big risk, as I mentioned about Dariush. Number 5 against number 8, undefeated fighter. Nobody's ever been able to crack the nut of Sean Brady and Bilal Muhammad. Wow, what an amazing performance.
Yeah, no, I was impressed with the intelligent pressure that he put on Brady.
Yeah,
he was crowding him the entire fight,
pushing him,
just
pushing him,
pushing him. And I thought that was an incredible game plan on his part to always just be crowding Brady and making him uncomfortable, knowing that he's right there. He's right there. To Brady's credit, excellent counter striker. Sure. Excellent counter striker.
Sure.
He threw some excellent counters, but to me, it just seemed that Bilal was more determined to get to Brady and hurt him. Yeah. And especially in that second round where the right hand started to land, and it kept landing until he took him out.
Yeah, he hurt Brady with a big right, and then he just kept pushing him and just kept landing it over and over and over. And finally, Lucas Busaki stepped in and stopped it. I wanted to see a third round, so I was a little choked that he didn't give him a little more time, because it was just 13 seconds left in that second round. He called it, but amazing performance. He called out a lot of people. He called out Leon Edwards. He called out Khamzat Chimaev. And I've also heard that Gilbert Burns and him are a good possibility of fighting each other. I think all those three would be great. Amazing to take that O away from Brady and get that win. And I mentioned him to my dad. I mentioned him to Larray, Bilal Muhammad, and they're like, I don't know if I heard that name. I go, well, his nickname is Remember the Name, so you should remember it. And he has a podcast called Remember the Show. And I want to put that on our subscription list and hopefully post it up on the Complete Media Network. And I'm going to be a loyal follower and listener. This guy has really, really super improved since the early stages when he came into the UFC, and now he's one of the top guys, definitely in the sport. It's an amazing progression, and this guy's career is taking off, and the sky's the limit, really.
No, the sky's the limit. I hope they go with what you just recommended as a fight between him and Gilbert Burns.
Yeah,
it's a great fight to watch.
Yeah,
like that. Like, I'm actually quite excited to see that. That would be the fight I want to see out of all those names that you just mentioned.
Definitely. Okay, let's blast through the rest of it. You have a fight that you want to make some mention of on the rest of the prelim card?
Yes, I do. The Ozdemir Krylov fight.
That was great.
Because Krylov, he came back to win this fight.
That first round was one of my favorite first rounds. So both guys in trouble and tough as nails. That was awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, because Ozdemir cracked Krylov, and I'm like, all right, Ozdemir's gonna win. He's out. Krylov still manages to just to maintain his wits.
Yeah.
And then he cracks him. And it was just I loved it. It was a great fight. Yeah. And I love the fact that Krylov really pressured Ozdemir, knowing how dangerous that man is with any of his strikes, and he still kept coming to the point where he wore down Ozdemir. He wore him down physically.
Yeah, after Ozdemir had him in trouble so early, you thought, wow, this is his night. But Krylov just came back and took it to him and beat him really good. I'm really impressed with Krylov, and I think they're going to switch rankings. Ozdemir was number 8, Krylov was number 10. I think we'll see them reversed in there, and both really heavy strikers at 205. These guys are big, tough, and powerful, and that first round was one of my favorite rounds of the year.
Oh yeah, yeah. The first round was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Great fight by both these guys. But I was super impressed with Krylov's will to win.
Yeah.
He really was willing to not be denied, go into the fire, go into those dangerous spots with Ozdemir, get cracked, and somehow he survived it.
He did it. Yeah. Impressive. I was impressed with Khabib's cousin Abubakar. Got a nice decision victory. Armin Petrosian, another decision victory for him. Muhammad Mokayev, 22 years old, and beat the Canadian Malcolm X Gordon with a submission victory there. This kid's very popular. He has a big following in the UK. And yeah, I think he's got a bright future, undefeated still, and 22 years old, one of the youngest fighters on the UFC roster. Looked great in that win.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He looked fantastic in that ring for sure.
Yeah. I do want to just really quickly mention next week's card. Saturday we've got UFC 63 from the Apex, and that Calvin Kattar Arnold Allen fight. Man, I am super excited to see these guys bang. And number 6 against number 7 in that featherweight division. Really a contender setup for both these guys. Who wins moves up into that top 5. Who loses has to take a step or two back. Man, this is going to be a heck of a war.
Oh yeah, it's going to be extremely entertaining. I love this main event. I love this fight card. I like that, and I think a hidden gem on the main card: Dustin Jacoby, Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that's going to be a barn burner. I think that's going to be a great fight.
yeah. I'm leaning towards the Warhorse Roundtree, Warhorse. I think he's able to get this. I'm definitely looking forward to many of the fights on the card. Uh, Jared the Mountain Vandera against Waldo Salsa Boy. That'll be fun. Always great to see Andre Arlovsky, the Pitbull's in there. He's always fun to watch and such a legend in the sport. He always comes in. You can't believe his resume, all the things and fights that he's been doing. That'll be great to see him and the Phil Haas Roman Delice always a great feature matchup. I think they do a really good job on that feature prelims, usually as fight of the night, early on, and you're like, wow, right, gung ho for the main card to start.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like and that's a great setup that they have to go into the main card with that fight because those are two guys on coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. That's a great fight.
Chase Hooper, always fun to watch. Such a skinny little lanky kid, but yeah, he's got some skill and moving up in the ranks. And yeah, this will be fun. Looking forward to UFC Vegas 63. I think it's a normal time. I think we're talking about starting at 4 o'clock. 1 o'clock prelims, 4 o'clock Pacific time for the main card. So it'll be good. Also Saturday night from Glendale Arena in Arizona, Jake Paul Anderson Silva.
Ooh.
Will you watch?
Oh man, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I'll give that one a maybe because I have incredible respect for Anderson Silva, not the other
guy. I wonder what happens to Jake Paul if he loses this fight. I think he goes on even more of a meteoric rise if he wins this. But Anderson Silva has looked great in his boxing career so far, and I think I'm leaning towards Anderson a little bit more. But yeah, Saturday night should be interesting. I think I'll give it a watch.
Should be interesting. I'm definitely cheering for Anderson.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Anderson, knock him out. And then all of a sudden, no more boxing by the Pauls. Oh, great. Cool.
That could be it. Yeah, the kid retire him. That could be it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to blast through the NBA really briefly. We were so long on both the NFL and the UFC. There have been some big surprises in the NBA. Utah Jazz in their rebuilding mode, getting rid of the Spider Mitchell, getting rid of Gobert, getting rid of Bogdanovich. 3-0 to start the year. Trailblazers 3-0, the only two undefeated teams in the West. Are you shocked to see Utah doing this?
Well, yeah, I'm shocked to see Utah and the Trailblazers at both 3-0, because those are not the teams that I would expect out of the West to be 3-0, and especially not the Utah Jazz when they blew up their team. They took a stick of dynamite and they blew it up. Well, actually, I should say Danny Ainge did, because that's what Danny Ainge does. He goes, "This is not my team. These are not my players. Everybody's got to go."
Yeah. It was a fire sale there this offseason, and you thought, this could be one of those legendary teams to lose all their games. But incredible. I watched the game yesterday, and Kelly Olynyk, Canadian from Kamloops here in BC, gets the winning bucket. Looked good. The Finnish guy, Lauri Markkanen, 30 points, double. Great performance by him. And this team has some pretty decent pieces around Conley and I don't know. I was impressed. I enjoyed that game. They won it in overtime, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was an incredibly entertaining game. And the thing that I really loved about the game was I miss Zion Williamson. I did. Yeah. That guy he's a showstopper.
Yeah.
It is so awesome just to watch him play basketball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I hope he does. I hope he's healthy this season, because I really want to see more of that guy just play basketball.
Yeah. He had that ugly fall and left with a hip contusion. Probably won't be super serious. It was sad to see concussion by Brogdon. No, not Brogdon. Concussion by his teammate. Let me check it out here. Why am I not coming up with the name?
Was it Herb Jones?
No, the main guy were
Ingram?
Yeah, Brandon Ingram got a concussion that game, so hopefully that doesn't keep him out long. It was CJ McCollum was kind of by himself at the end there, so I guess it wasn't surprising that he wasn't able to win the game on his own. But both Zion and Brandon Ingram both had to leave the game early.
That's too bad. I guess I missed Brandon Ingram getting that concussion. I kind of missed that part. But McCollum had a great game, though.
Yeah.
28 points, 12 assists. I think them picking him up, he fits that team really, really well.
Oh, yeah. That was a brilliant move by them. Yeah. Incredible. Very, very good. The East, there's only two undefeated teams left in the East. Celtics at 3-0 and the Bucks at 2-0. I guess both teams are not super surprising. They're up there. Celtics had a bit of a weird offseason with Ime Udoka getting the year suspension, and there was, unsure of how they would handle a new coach coming in, new system. But so far so good.
Yeah, so far so good, and Brogdon has fit in nicely with the team.
Yeah,
excellent piece that they picked up,
and
he has fit in perfectly.
Raptors had a nice win tonight. They beat the Heat 98-90. Precious Ochiuwa set a franchise record with 22 rebounds, the most ever for a guy coming off the bench for them. And Pascal Siakam's looked good. He got triple-double over the weekend, his fourth triple-double. Looked really fantastic doing it. They played Miami a few days ago, and they got into a fight. Miami's forward, Caleb Martin, and Jovic Nikola Jovic, not Djokovic. Both got suspended for this game. They were fighting Christian Koloko. He was fined 15K, but didn't get a suspension. That 15K, I was trying to look how much that really hits him in the pocketbook. It's 1% of his $1.5 million salary. So, whoop-de-doo, I guess, but no big deal. But yeah, he's one of the poor guys in the NBA. But yeah, 15K. Did you see that altercation? Did you see that bit of that fight that they had the other night?
Oh, I missed it. I missed it. What, like, yeah, what happened?
There was a fight for the loose ball under the hoop. Basically, Koloko got shoved down. He stood up as Martin was looming over him. They both kind of push each other, and then Martin just tackled him into the crowd and started swinging at him. And then everybody poured in there to try to pull him off. The reason why Jovic got suspended was he came off the bench. He wasn't on the court at the time, and he tried to break it up. But yeah, it was Caleb Martin was definitely the instigator. He caused all the mayhem. I don't think Koloko should have even got a fine, but yeah, it was pretty nasty. And I wondered if it would spill into the rematch tonight, but I didn't hear that there was any more shenanigans. So good. Caleb Martin is a bit of a jerk at times, and yeah, he wasn't in there tonight.
Oh, that's a little disappointing, but okay, all right. Well, cooler heads prevailed, and I guess that's a good thing. I guess.
Yeah. Did you see John Morant's performance against Houston on Friday?
49 points.
49 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year was a breakout year for him, and yeah, he's obviously starting off really well again.
He is amazing. Again, just another guy that when you watch him, it's just a pleasure to watch him play.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute pleasure to watch him play.
Yeah.
Like I believe the game before, he had one of the most amazing charges called against him I've ever seen.
Wow.
Where he tried to glide past him. The guy still got the charge, but he hung in the air and still made the layup.
Amazing, eh? Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's so athletic and incredible. Yeah, his size is amazing. Yeah, he's amazing. Love watching him play for sure. Philadelphia, they had a victory tonight, but they had an 0-3 start to the year. Good numbers for Embiid and Harden, but no cohesiveness on the court. They just don't look like they know how to play with each other. It's pretty rough. The Philadelphia fans are renowned for being really tough on their teams, but right now, Eagles are undefeated. Phillies are in the World Series. I think 76ers on the priority scale are going down a little bit. They won't get as much media attention, won't get as much wrath, but they better figure this out because Philly fans can be pretty ruthless.
Well, once the Phillies and the Astros series is done, all right, now more attention will be given to the 76ers, and eventually football is going to be done too. And then it's gonna get bad.
Then they get amped up. Tension will be back on them. Yeah. Did you see how impressive of a performance Paolo Banchero had in his first appearance? The #1 overall draft pick set a record that hasn't been seen since LeBron's rookie year. Did you
25, 5 and 5? Right?
Yeah. He actually had 27, 9 and 5, and nobody's had that number in the rookie year since LeBron. So pretty good company already for a guy that a lot of people weren't sure was that #1 overall guy. They sort of went off the board and got him, and man, he looked great. Great in that first game.
Yeah, no, he's looking like he's a solid #1.
Yeah,
solid #1 so far from even what I've seen from him in preseason. He's impressive. He's impressive.
There is a there is a trade happening over the next coming days. Jay Crowder wants out of Phoenix. They decided to start Cameron Johnson over him. He said, "No, I'm starting somewhere. Get me out of here." There's a lot of teams supposedly interested. I hear Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Miami. I think the Heat are the most likely destination as they are trying to replace PJ Tucker, who went to Philly. And I think that trade will be consummated in the next few days here. Carolina Hurricanes just scored 2 goals within about 15, 20 seconds, and they're up 3-1 on the Canucks here. So yeah, another 2-goal deficit they're in third period. PJ Tucker, only in Philly 3 games. There was a lot of people that said they could hear him out in the arena from the locker room as he yelled and screamed at his new teammates on how lousy of a performance they had against the rebuilding Spurs on the weekend. They lost 114-105, and Doc Rivers said he absolutely flipped out on his team, and he was happy that PJ took the lead to do that and called out his teammates for lackadaisical play and not putting in an effort against a team that they should have beat.
Oh, absolutely. How are you going to lose to the Spurs? Are you serious? I'm sure PJ Tucker goes, I didn't come here to like lose to the Spurs, boys.
Yeah.
Came here to win.
Yeah. So yeah, good on him. That was great.
Yeah.
Good to hear. The Nets, they look super awful against the Pelicans, and Kyrie was horrible. 6 for 19. Did not look good. They had a bounce back against the Raptors and won, but this is going to be a dumpster fire kind of season again for Brooklyn? Are we going to just see highs and lows and just a lot of craziness in between?
Yeah. That's exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie will show up for some games, like when he feels like he wants to. Ben Simmons looks like he's actually going to be he's just going to play.
Wow.
Which is nice.
Wow.
Looks like he's just I'm just going to play.
Amazing.
And KD will just do KD stuff. And he'll probably be the last man standing out of all of it once it's all said and done.
Crazy. They have a tough schedule this week. They play the Bucks, the Mavs, and the Grizzlies. So we'll see what they can pull together. A team that I've been watching quite a bit has been the Clippers. Great to see John Wall and Kawhi Leonard back after missing all of last year. They will be doing a lot of load management, I'm sure. You know how it worked out with load management with Kawhi with the Raptors. John Wall looks like he's had a resurgence and looking great. And this team will be fun to watch.
Oh no, the team's going to be great to watch. The main X factor for the Clippers was, what is John Wall going to look like? John Wall looks great.
Yeah.
He looks really good. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Is there any other NBA notes that you had that you wanted to mention before we call it a night?
Oh yes, I did want to mention the one thing. I'm really liking the way the Cavs are looking. They played on Sunday, won in OT against the Wizards, and Donovan Mitchell seems to have found his stride with that team. 37 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. I think Cleveland's going to be a team to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about that team. Yeah, it's I think they've assembled a really exciting, great team, and yeah, look out. I think tons of the conference better be on alert because they're coming. They have all the pieces they need to be a really top team.
Yeah, and like whenever Darius Garland comes back and plays and stuff, and they already got Mobley, they got Jared Allen. Like, that's a good team, man. It's a really good team.
Yeah, it's awesome to see because they struggled quite a bit after LeBron left there, and yeah, it's good that they've turned this thing around. Really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Team, I'm definitely paying attention to this season.
Yeah, well, man, this was fun as always. Great to cover it. We went pretty long tonight, but yeah, it was great. I enjoyed the card. I was pissed off on a few occasions, but you know, I guess you get the good with the bad, hey?
You get the good with the bad. Hopefully, this next one coming up for this weekend is going to be, nothing but finishes.
Yeah.
Right, Uncle Dana? Right?
Right.
Nothing but finishes.
Let's hope. Okay, well, and enjoy the basketball this week. Yeah, let's talk through the week. Yeah, think
Definitely.
about that fun event that Stefan was talking about coming up in a few weeks, and I hope this week continues to be quiet for you.
Yes, so do I. And I hope that, your week, gets better, maybe, hopefully.
Thanks. Stay dry, my man. Stay dry. Thanks for this as always.
Sorry, what
Uh,
was it?
I just said stay dry, and thanks for this as always.
Okay, thank you again. Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Ta-ta for now.
Cheers. Good night. Bye for now. Okay. Well, yeah, we went over a couple hours, I think. Thanks for tuning in. As always, appreciate your support. Speaking of support, I want to thank our partners and sponsors. Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And the V350 stick is a must-have for anybody that plays hockey in your midst. We've got Pampas of Possibilities, designers of West Coast beautiful things for your home. So let them come in and spruce up your place and make it look great. And of course, Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. And you can purchase lots of products on our website at discounted rates. And yeah, love you guys so much. Love you beyond belief, and appreciate your support. Take care of yourself and have a great week ahead. Check out our websites, and yeah, give us some feedback and give us some help. Spread the word. Love you.